Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. You can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new REAX Castor Glove, available at RevZilla.com. This is the new REAX Castor, new for the spring of 18. 3-season, warm to hot weather, sport-oriented, coming in at the $90 mark. And if we look at it, the standout features are it's going to be sport, but it's a little bit more sophisticated, more mature sport. It's not icon punch you in the mouth. It's going to be functional, muted, and they've beefed up some of the comfort and protection options on this, which I'm going to get to in a second. Now, if you're new to REAX, incepted in the summer of 16, built under the Komodo umbrella, they really looked at the market and said, want to invest in comfort, protection, and be less about graphics and sizzle and more about gear that riders can graduate into before they go into like halo products that are overly R&D, overly technical. So again, it's been interesting to watch the evolution and development for this product, and it's been very cool to finally see it come to market. I think they've done a lot of things well within this full first collection. So right out of the gates, one of the first things that I've seen that the Castor doesn't really do is I think that there could be a better perf version or better even perforation on this glove to allow you to go from 3-season hot to really give you better coverage for 2-season hot weather riding. So think northeast, sticky, humid. Again, it could flow a little bit more air. The other thing, which is a clear choice that might work for some and not for others, is the knuckle here is muted. It's a little bit more mature sport. And when I think of a more hardcore short cuff sport glove, I tend to think sometime carbon fiber knuckle or more of an aggressive knuckle shape. So again, that may or may not work for you. Now, diving quickly into fitment. The fit on this glove really works. The REAX glove series is American cut. So I'm wearing a size large on my left hand. I wear a large in Icon. I wear a large in First Gear. I wear a large in Alpine Stars. Any gloves that are out there that are really going to have more of that American cut are going to work. And I will show you that it has a slight pre-curve to it, but I will tell you that the fingers aren't overly narrow, even with internal stitching. So again, they've nailed that down. You shouldn't be surprised on inconsistencies within the line or within the gloves themselves where you have width in the palm but not in the fingers. Also fit-wise, as you work your way down, you're going to see some comfort features like neoprene down here along the cuff, and you do have a little bit of stretch. And the cool thing about this glove, where the stretch is worked in, you see it back of the hand, on the top beyond the wrist, which allows the knuckle to float a little bit better. But what happens is when you move up into the finger, this reflective is actually stretch reflective. And I've actually never seen that done anywhere else. So it's very cool that that stretch reflective is really twofold in its function, which is going to be reflective, as well as adding some ergonomics to the glove. You notice the stretch that you have worked here in the thumb as well. Use a size chart, ship for free over 39 bucks. And as always, I'd love to click our logo, subscribe to RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback on the REAX Castor. Now, working into the nuance of the glove, and we start to think of the things that this glove really stands out on. One of the things that I dig that they've overinvested here in the REAX line is that you're seeing materials like the leather in these gloves really be beefed up without cresting that $100 mark. You can overspend in the glove range and go, the sky's the limit. Short cuff gloves that go from $100 all the way up into the $200 range. What they've done here is they said, you know what, some of the super fabrics, some of that carbon fiber, we're gonna leave that out, but what we're gonna use is 0.8, 0.9 millimeter leather, which is more premium to the touch, softer, more comfortable when you're wearing it, but it's actually beefier than you typically see under the $100 mark. Typically we see 0.5 or 0.6 millimeter leather, whereas this is going to be nearly 20 to 30% more thick. And that thickness really will carry its weight and give you better slidability if you happen to go down. Now you'll see it as we work up the backside of the hand, done in cow. We talked about the stretch factor. And remember, this Castor is the sport-oriented glove. There are four different colors. You have your gunmetal, you have your black on black, and then you have your black, white, red. This is the black and white version. Moving up to my knuckle, again, muted, sophisticated. Think of it as more of the adult sport option. They didn't want it to be so hardcore Ricky Racer that you couldn't sport commute in it every day. So again, trying to find that sweet spot. At the base of the fingers, you're going to have a stitched pop of really temper foam, adding a little bit of protection. We talked about the reflective stretch as you work your way in. And then on each finger, you're gonna see a secondary layer of leather, and then you have really TPR that's raised. Not a TPU would be overly hard. The TPR gives you the protection and more abrasion resistance without being overly hard or really without creating a major pressure point for your finger inside of the glove. As you rotate over towards the thumb, notice stretch at the first knuckle of the thumb, more dense foam at the top of the mid-digital thumb knuckle, and you work your way into the palm. This becomes goat now. You have digital goat on the outseam protection, and you have goat. And the goat's gonna be a similar thickness as the cow, but what's beautiful about the goat is that while it feels good, it offers a little bit more tactile response, so you get more feedback from the bike. And what it also is going to do hold up a little bit better if it happens to get wet. Now, moving into the palm of the hand, goat reinforcement. Crook of the control area across the control patch. Notice the pre-curve, we talked about that. Micro perforation in between the fingers. Again, that speaks to one of my gripes. I'd like to see more perforation in a glove like this, or even a hardcore full perf version on the REAX Castor. One of the things that I like that they've done across the line is capture the outseam, and they've done it very aggressively here on the Castor. Digital goat, secondary leather, no breaks, no seams, comes all the way down, scoots across this scaphoid area, the middle of the wrist. And what you have here is a dense raised area of TPR for abrasion resistant, but also for vibration dampening. This is one of the differences as you look at the Castor versus something like the Tasker, which is gonna use a dense foam, where this actually begins to have that REAX shaped and REAX logoed raised panel, and you do have two little pops of dense foam that are worked in as well, just to round things out. So again, pretty beefy landing zone, pretty beefy outseam protection to protect you in case of a low side crash. And then again, finished really nicely with the dual stitching. One of the things we neglected to mention so far is the fact that on all the REAX gloves, you are gonna have multi-touch. So in the thumb, in the index finger, both sides, the ability to work an iPhone or an Android or a multi-touch device, where in the past we saw a lot of gloves just do one finger, thinking about more of that Garmin side of things. Now everybody is mounting and using their smartphones that really happen to be much more functional, and you need two fingers for pinch zooming and full operation. Moving down into the cuff, notice micro Velcro, stitched in our TPR pull, rubberized, allowing you to cinch things down. Not a lot of bunching, but you do have room to really open this up if you have a massive, beefy wrist. And that ulna protection is gonna give you a little bit more coverage, again, in case of a low side crash. One of the things I glossed over earlier in the video is there's a sneaky little pop of reflectivity that I would have loved seeing worked in on some of the other gloves in this line, but it's done really well on the outside of the hand. So again, when we look at the Castor, not super fabric, not carbon fiber, it's not using titanium, it's not kangaroo. But what it is a $90 glove using premium leather that's going to have great reflective scheme, again, with a mixture of goat and a mixture of cow. It's beefier than you might expect, and it's very comfortable. That really is gonna do the job, except for the hottest of hot weather days when you need that full perforation scheme. But again, I like what they did. It's a nice evolution within the glove world, a nice new entrant into the market. The next step in your journey is to click the info button, your desktop, your mobile device. Visit the product detail page at RevZilla.com. Read other rider reviews on the REAX Castor. You should not just take my word for it. See what other riders are saying as they are riding in it daily and beating on it. As always, we'll ship free over 39 bucks. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel, stay up to date with our opinion of the latest and greatest in the motorcycle universe. And please, please, please offer us your feedback at a first glance and while you're riding in the REAX Castor. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.